diagnostic. Primary power is established. Communication channels open. All systems operational. Planet Earth, October 2024. MUBIL Mobility Awards starting. Benvenuti a bordi e torri. Willkommen, bienvenidos. Welcome. Electric, connected, autonomous, shared, infrastructures. The future is here, and it is smart and sustainable. Shall we live the future? MUBIL Mobility Awards.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Welcome to everyone here in this beautiful tabacalera of the beautiful Donosti, and to everyone at home watching by streaming. Today we have this fourth edition of the MUBIL Mobility Awards, and we are going to award 2 innovative initiatives in the field of sustainable mobility at the international level. And we will listen the pitching of 6 finalist projects, and then we will reward them in a way that's not usual at all. These awards are completely different from all others, and we will tell you how it is, why we grant these awards. And for about an hour and a half, you will listen to ideas that trace the innovative trends in this very important sector. Here we show what's in the oven of the near future. And we think that this year's edition is going to be specifically very interesting, with lots of innovations. MUBIL has been working for 4 years here. I think that everyone here knows about what they do, but we are going to repeat it anyway. MUBIL is when a territory makes a decision, when a network of agents decide to work together to become an international reference in smart, sustainable mobility. 120 organizations or more of the Basque Country, from the public and private spheres, the academia, universities, research centers, all together. Many of you are here in this room. Thank you very much. You are MUBIL. And tonight you are here because you are welcoming 2 new organizations in your ecosystems, the awarded projects of tonight. And there are 2 key milestones this year for MUBIL. One has to do with people's leadership, and the other has to do with the new headquarters. 2 very important things. I want to talk about this with 2 guests, 2 leaders that I'm asking to join me here, the MUBIL president and the councillor of strategic projects of Gipuzkoa Regional Council, Mrs. Anne Insausti. And of course, Igor Villarreal, the new MUBIL director, who started about 1 year ago, more or less. More or less. So do you remember the very first conversation we had? And you said that you had this work to do that was very interesting, an excellent headquarter for MUBIL that you had to create. It's done now. Now we have MUBIL Center, MUBIL District with all these individuals. How do you feel about it? Well, we did it together, really, because, like you said, we all work together here. So I'd like to say that it's a pleasure for me to be here. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor for me, and I wish you the best of luck. And so how do we feel? Well, in 2021, we opened the first headquarter. We knew it was not the final one. It was just for a while. And being in Usabal for 3 years allowed us to learn so much, to see what we needed and what we had to design, like you said. And I'd like to explain it because we talk about a hub, headquarters, district. Well, when we talk about the MUBIL hub, we talk about you, the whole ecosystem, all the agents, all of you who are part of this project that bring this project to life, and that makes us a referent in smart and sustainable mobility at an international level. We talk about all the companies that work for us, all our partners, all technology centers, all different educational agents. You are all key. And that's the MUBIL hub. When we talk about the district, actually it's a physical space. We go to Escunteseta and we see how many square meters we have there. And in 2021, it was an empty field. And 3 years later, I encourage all of you to come and visit us at the MUBIL headquarters so you can see how other key projects are under development now. They complete MUBIL, Econtec, Cidetec, or Tecnalia's project, among others. When we talk about the MUBIL headquarters, there we find all the people working there. The MUBIL team has been working there since before summer, and the directors, too, are there. And we think that soon we'll be able to host different companies and the City Science Lab demo with the MIT Media Lab cooperation that we have. And when we talk about all those labs are actually a milestone. They are absolutely crucial in our strategy. They allow us to grant services that are absolutely cutting edge, and they allow us to work together with the other services in MUBIL, not just us, but also the other projects from other agents. That allows us to create a very wide portfolio, which makes us be closer to our goal, which is to be an international referent in smart and sustainable mobility. Igor, you've been in the organization for 1 year. How would you summarize this year's experience? Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for being here and for allowing me to be here. In one word, so if I have to choose one word, it would be optimism, for many reasons. First of all, because I found a wonderful team. Cesar, Aitor, Amaya, Ainhoa, and Anne were able to bring MUBIL to life, from the idea to reality. Also because we now are already in the new MUBIL Center headquarters. We hope by the end of the year more companies will come. And because we have a close network of companies with whom we work to look for new opportunities in the market, which means that we are more, than we can create new collaboration networks, international buyers that know about us, new commercial relationships have been established. We know that. And because recently 10 of us went to Germany to a reference party. And we went there as a group, as a movement. And that allowed us to have many important doors open. And I cannot forget the MUBIL Mobility Expo this year, our 4th session, and it keeps consolidating. So many reasons for optimism. This morning you were an observer in the jury. We're not going to make any spoilers, but what would you say about this 4th edition? What were your sensations? Maybe I should wait till the prizes are awarded, but it's a reason for optimism. We've seen people with a lot of character, people who are really looking for opportunities within the world of a smart and sustainable mobility. And we've seen and witnessed the passion behind it. And we cannot forget the proposals made year after year, many more international proposals each year that make it more difficult for us to decide who's going to be the winner. And Anne, one last question. 2050, the year when we have promised that we will be carbon zero, and by then we must have decarbonized the air. You know what decarbonizing is, right? That all the CO2 that any system, any car, any any factory, whatever creates, and the natural system in the world, the nature, the trees that can absorb it, if we make the additions, the results should be zero. And excuse me for this little explanation, but that's what's in the horizon for us. A very important goal, but not only that. What do you see in the 2050 horizon? What's your vision? Take us there. 2050, Gipuzkoa. Well, I think that we are on the right path. We can talk about a territory with a high social well-being, and it will be even better. It's very important that society will sense it, will feel it like that. A complete well-being. In our department, it's very clear for us that it's very important to generate wealth, to have a strong economy, and that's what will allow us to talk about social well-being. That's why I see a 2050 Gipuzkoa with projects such as MUBIL and others that help, and I insist it's a public-private cooperation where we all work hand in hand, all together. Otherwise, it won't be possible. And that's what will allow us to reach this goal. You talked about climate change. Of course, it's an ecological transition. We all know it. Also, a demographic transition, a digital transition, new technologies that we must adopt, like the Draghi report says. And in that sense, I'm convinced, I'm sure that projects such as MUBIL will help us overcome those barriers and turn them into opportunities. And I hope that in 2050 they will become real. For 2030, we want to live in Gipuzkoa in a complete well-being situation. And we want society to feel it like that. And for that, we need a strong economy. And we must keep the present economy, but also create new ones for a comprehensive well-being. Yes, a future that's worth living, worth building. Zero carbon, but zero inequality, and same economic prosperity for all. I want to be in that future. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to explain about those awards. Those awards are not only to include 2 more companies, to innovative startups, to our ecosystem that becomes bigger each year. We also want to develop projects together. We have 2 prizes, the first one and the second one. And there are 2 parts for each of them. There's the economic prize, because the jury has decided that the project has a lot of potential, and the other one depends on a condition. The condition is that the startup will create, together with a Basque Country mobility company, a cooperation in order to jointly develop their technology. So there are 2 folders here to increase the ecosystem, look for innovation, but also cooperation in the long term. Some prizes are just cash and that's it, and you go away. And our prize is for you to stay here with us. And that's the essence, the core, the philosophy of these awards. Some data about these awards, and I will then present the jury. Our wonderful jury. So we launched the call for projects the 8th of May. We closed it 21 July, but we received twice as many projects as the first year. And it's very, very interesting. Not only that, there are many more international ones. So that's what we want to do. We want to become internationals. Only 8 from the Basque Country and Navarre. The rest come from the rest of Spain and from Europe. And that's very important. And there are different axes of work in the awards, types of mobility we work with, and some projects that belong or can belong to more than one. having this in mind, this year's statistics are very interesting. 55% of projects in electrical field, 45 in connected mobility, and then infrastructure 29%, shared 27% of projects, and the least autonomous with 20% of projects. So we have 6 finalists, 2 winners that will become members of the network and can be granted another award if they develop their technology with an agent of mobility of the Basque Country. And the jury, what about the jury? We have leaders in each field, people who are referenced in their field of expertise, and I will tell them about all of them. And just a single applause at the end, please. So first of all, Carolina Rodriguez, who's here with us this year again. She is Director of Promotion of ENISA, an organization of the Ministry of Industry and Tourism that supports the financing of innovative entrepreneurship. Joaquin Lopetegui has been here every year, a pillar for us, Director of Corporate and New Business Development at CAF. Luis Alonso, researcher at MIT City Science. Marisa Arriola, another pillar for us, General Manager at BIC Gipuzkoa. BIC is crucial in these awards. They help us with everything. They have a very special vision on how to contact and recruit innovator entrepreneurs. If you want to innovate in this region, talk to her. This is the lady with beautiful white hair, another of our pillars, and Noshin Omar, founder and president of ABI Group, Electric Mobility and Batteries. We'll talk with him later. And finally, Yolanda Perez, the director of B Startup and Have Empresa at Banco Sabadell. A round of applause for all of them. A wonderful jury. And we'll start with the MIT because we know that brand shines like no one else. What does the MIT do in Gipuzkoa? They've come to Gipuzkoa thanks to an agreement, and we're going to talk about it. Luis Alonso, ladies and gentlemen. So MIT City Science, that's how we call it, right? Yes, the headquarters are in Boston. And you're looking for ways to help cities become better places with different work lines. And the MIT signed an agreement with MUBIL to do the City Science Lab here in Gipuzkoa. So you decided not to talk in one city, but actually you focus on the whole region of Gipuzkoa, which is extremely interesting. Why the whole of Gipuzkoa? Well, the first thing I want to say is that it's a privilege for the MIT to work here in Gipuzkoa and to have this cooperation at the City Science Lab with MUBIL. Why Gipuzkoa? Well, I think we must remember that Gipuzkoa is a very special territory. In other places, when you try to have a look at the challenges, mainly challenges that have to do with climate neutrality, that the goal that Europe is setting for us. And you usually focus on cities when you do that, because regionally cities have a very high impact, and there are other less impacting areas around it, the rural ones. But that doesn't happen in Gipuzkoa. In Gipuzkoa, you have a territory cohesion, which means that impacts are in the whole of the territory. In mobility, 40% of the CO2 produced in Gipuzkoa is due to mobility. And part of that mobility happens when workers go from one place to the other, when they use their own private car, and just one person using that car.
Ayudar para disminuir el CO2 debido a todos estos usos del coche.
And how do you expect to help us to reduce CO2? Because we're still going to keep going to work, right? Well, we're all helping each other. Like Anna said, we all work hand in hand, and the MIT too, we are all learning together. In order to learn, you must create a series of tools based on data and scientific evidence. And you can ask questions. Some people call it digital twins. It doesn't matter, really. You create a mathematic model, and you ask questions about the current state of things. And you can see what works and what doesn't work. It's very interesting. And in the USA, they use the what-if scenario. What-if scenario. So what would happen if? right? To make it clear for everyone, yes. What would happen if I implement a certain public policy in the present situation or a certain technology, etc. And the model comes up with certain environmental impacts, and then it helps to make decisions. I've seen there's a document on the table that's related to mobility of companies, and there's an act now that says that people with over 100 employees have to create a mobility plan. So what are you doing in order to help companies in Guipúzcoa to improve people's mobility? Well, there are several projects on the table, and we've moved a lot on this digital platform. I think that's what you're talking about. And it's a very interesting act, so that companies of over 100 workers create a mobility plan. But actually, it's not really very big companies, 100 employees. If different companies work together and they say, we're going to create one single mobility plan for all of us who work in the same area, in the same industrial area, for instance, or a technological park, etc. That means that several companies could share the same bus to go to work, or they could create a co-working space that is not exactly in that industrial area, but in a close village. That makes things more flexible. So that helps company coordinate. That would also reduce the economic impact for the company and so environmental ones. Oh, that's very interesting. So you don't give it to the companies, but to the regional council, who will use these tools to get in touch with the territory, right? Yes, our cooperation now is with the Guipúzcoa Provincial Council, also at the regional level. There are many projects. We only have a couple of minutes now, but we can have a beer afterwards. Yes, all the students here who would love to talk about this with someone from the MIT. And you never know what can happen. Maybe you can become an assistant in their labs in Boston. That's amazing. Thank you very much.
Vale, quiero saludar a las...
I'd like to greet the schools and university. We do this every year. It's a very interesting relationship. Not just those that are part of MUBI, but we invite everyone here because tonight we want to convey a message, which is mobility, entrepreneurship is smart and sustainable. You have to work for environment. Doesn't matter if you're a teacher, if you're an engineer, if you drive cars, but think sustainable, think smart, so that we can soon become carbon zero. So let me introduce the students here, honor guests. Innovandis. This is a Deusto program, a program in innovation and entrepreneurship of the University of Deusto. It's been running for about 15 years. Where's the teacher? Professor John from Innovandis. Where are you? People from Innovandis? Oh, there. You know where you have to innovate. School of Engineering of Vitoria-Gasteiz, about 30 people from the 4th year. Future is for engineers, isn't it? I think engineers have a lot to say in everything we're talking about this evening. Motor student electric from Guipúzcoa School of Engineering of the Basque Country University. Where are you?
Uno de vosotros o vosotras, ¿qué hacéis?
What do you do at the motor student? Is it a competition? What is it? Unfortunately, we can't hear. We create an electric motorbike. That's what we do. Every 2 years, we build one from scratch. But you build it? Yes, absolutely everything. The organization just gives us the motor and the brakes. Everything else is developed by us. And what do you do with that motorbike? Well, mainly, we try to innovate. We have many projects with recycled materials, electric mobility, etc. So we use electric batteries as such, but the development behind them, how to manage the charging, etc., is an extra thing that we learn in our university studies. And then we go to Aragon, to Motorland, and we compete against universities from all around the world. Did you win? No. How far did you get? It's a terrible question, I know, but I have to ask it. What was your ranking? Shall I tell you the truth or the pretty things? A big round of applause for you.
¿Sabíais que se hacían esos?
So did you know that this kind of prototype of motorbikes were done at the university and they compete? Very interesting. And the e-racing from Technion, the engineering school from University of Navarra, the campus is here in San Sebastian. Where's e-racing in Technion? There's one person, but super powerful representative. And what do you do in Technion? Let us know. Tell us. With a microphone, please. It's the same thing as the motorbus, but what we do is a car. And we build a car from scratch, an electric one each year, one car per year. And in the summer, we go to different countries to compete. I'm not telling you if you won or yes, because it doesn't matter. A big round of applause. They don't win? We must help them more. And last year, they told me that it's a hard time when they don't win, so I'm not asking anymore. Is there another university that I didn't mention? No. Anyway, to all of you, thank you very much for coming. Let's now go to the core of this gala. Let's hear to our finalists and see how they are developing innovation this year. And the agenda will be as follows, in alphabetic order with the name of the company. 3 minutes each for their pitching, and you'll see that the time will be shown on that screen. And then the audience can ask 1 or 2 questions. And when it's in English, I will say pinganillo, which means headset in Spanish, and you can use your headsets to listen to the interpreters. Everybody is ready. Let's go. Let's get started. I'm going to Norway. We are going to talk about an organization that tells us how to optimize public transport in medium-sized cities of about...
A lo mejor no tienen tantos medios para comprar una infraestructura complicada. La organización se llama Assist to Be. Johan Haveland.
Hey, 4 years ago, when I was leading the public transport system in Bergen in Norway, I realized something was very wrong, fundamentally wrong with the system. Do you know where buses go, where and when people needed to go? Individually, when we choose to use a car or a bus, we compare comfort, cost, and travel time. But at the city level, we have very little knowledge on how people really move. Because if you know how, where, and when people move, you can change how they move. So we had great software to optimize the routes and how we run the system, kind of making sure that drivers were on time to the bus and the buses were punctual. But we had little knowledge of how supporting the bus system was to the entire city. Public transport planning, that's the area where we are, is mainly dependent on historical data, interviews with people, outdated data, incomplete data. And the result of this is inefficient public transport networks. So at Sisterby, we are determined to change this. We are empowering cities to change from reactive planning, based on historical data, to predictive planning, where we use our algorithm and technologies to achieve this. So our team of 16 people in Norway and in Portugal have developed an amazing software which uses AI 3 ways. Firstly, our AI engine imports a lot of what I would say incompatible mobility data and makes sense of them. We import city sensor data, public transit data, GPS data, demographic data, and mobile network data, which is key. We put this together smartly, and we make a living, breathing digital twin on how people move. Now that's interesting. But secondly, we use this to predict future patterns. How this mobility is on rush hour on Sundays. But not only that, in Birmingham, we used our algorithm on match days to predict how people move when Aston Villa plays home games, and you can do the same. Thirdly, we take all this information, the predictions of the future, and let the city reorganize the public transport system or optimization algorithms. And we have shown that the city can cut costs of public transport by a quarter, while transporting 12% more people and saving up to 20% of the emission. Assist2B is changing how public transport planning is being done. It used to be extremely complex, and we'll make it easy in a click in the software. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Stay with me in the picture. Questions for Joan. Preguntas para Joan, para este sistema de optimización. Ahí una pregunta. En alto, porque no conseguimos traer el micro en estos sitios, o sí conseguimos. Venga, speak up.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I think you are doing great work. My question is about, I think even in medium-sized cities, in the future we are going to include new mobility modes like autonomous vehicles, ultra-light weight vehicles. Are you considering multimodality with the public transit and these new mobility modes for your planning tool?
Really good question. So public transport is not just fixed lines of buses going back and forth. Public transport is changing. Public transport is about shared mobility, how people move. So when we look at movement and optimization, we're looking at the total travel from you are at A and you're going to B. And you will use maybe walk to the bus and then take a bus, then use a scooter. All these things are connected. And even, so we work with public transit authorities, with cities, and with these new on-demand bus companies, and car-sharing companies. Everything where you really need to understand how people move, when, where people move.
¿Te hemos contestado? Muy bien. ¿Alguna más? ¿Una segunda muy rápida para Joan o pasamos al siguiente? Hay una segunda para Joan en el fondo. Another question.
I can stay here all day.
You could stay all day, yes, and all of you, because it's such an interesting topic. Adelante.
How many cities are you currently present, and how long does it take for your algorithm to train for a city?
So right now we are in 10 cities. But last Friday, we won an EU tender. So, and actually, one of the 7 new cities we're working with is Vitoria-Gasteiz.
No,
So we're going to be developing our technology with Vitoria-Gasteiz with, is it called Tuvisa? Yeah,
Yes,
so we have an agreement with them. They're part of the big EU project, connecting them with using the same technology in 7 major or small to medium cities all over Europe. In Norway, Latvia, Hungary, and Sweden.
Thank you very much. So you're very close to us. A third one, excepcionalmente un tercero.
Thank you so much. I was going to ask you, how is this model going to evolve during the years? I mean, this plan for predicting the transport is going to be evolving every single time there's an opportunity, or is it going to be like a fixed plan? I mean, I give this solution, and this solution can be for years, or can it evolve during some moments, or some predictions can it make for predicting some exclusive moments and making the system evolving on itself?
It's measuring mobility every day. And I'm not saying we're measuring individuals, we're measuring signals, we're measuring movement every day. So everything evolves. So if you use maybe your from MIT model or something to change things, or our model to change something, we can measure the effect. Did it actually, so we predict that this bus line or this area for car sharing will have this effect. Maybe we're wrong, but we will measure the effect and you will know if you were right and wrong, and then you can adjust.
Ni su evolución. Eso es lo que hacemos nosotros, mantener constante la presión a lo largo de toda la vida de la batería gracias a un nuevo y revolucionario sistema de compresión patentado a modo de cinturón basado en la utilización de materiales inteligentes superelásticos. Somos capaces de aumentar la vida útil de las baterías hasta en un 50%. Todo ello sin comprometer ni su densidad energética ni su coste, y a lo que además añadimos, el cinturón es capaz de mejorar la precisión de la medida de la vida útil remanente de la batería. Esta tecnología la hemos validado a nivel de módulo, de battery pack, y buscamos ahora experiencias piloto donde incorporar los requisitos de diferentes sectores para poder lanzar este producto a mercado. La tecnología MUBIL es válida tanto para el actual de ion litio como para tecnologías emergentes, como puede ser la de estado sólido, que bien cerca tenemos una iniciativa bien potente, aquí cerquita de Miñano, en Vitoria. La movilidad eléctrica y el almacenamiento energético son una realidad imparable, su desarrollo un desafío global, y MUBIL no ha hecho más que arrancar su desarrollo en este sentido, y para nosotros sería un placer continuar mejorando nuestra tecnología en colaboración con MUBIL. Muchas gracias.
Bravo. ¿Habéis visto un cinturón? Un cinturón que controla, ¿verdad? Si lo he entendido bien, la presión que sucede dentro de esa batería. Preguntas para Javier. Aceptamos 2, luego el resto del cóctel. ¿Preguntas para Javier? ¿No? ¿Ninguna pregunta? Yo tengo una pregunta, solo una. Has dicho que ese cinturón nos va, dentro de muchos otros beneficios, a ayudar a medir precisamente cuánto le queda a la batería de vida útil. ¿Cómo lo hace?
So right now, the battery measurements are done through algorithmia, but also using the measurements of batteries, such as voltage or intensity. The thing is that with average charges, different ranges, that precision in voltage is not so good. But with the bad belt system, we don't need any additional sensors that cost, but the smart material sends a signal of the state of the battery and pressure that can help the algorithmia developers to improve things. Any questions? There's one question there. Please speak up. Good afternoon, good evening. I come from Thiditec, I'm Yosun. And the pressure applied on the cells, is it dynamic? Does it change as they become older? And if so, how is it done? Well, the concept is that the pressure doesn't increase, that it stays constant. That's the concept. And why? It's what we said. The use of intelligent, smart materials whose property is super elasticity. One more question. Yes, very quickly. Yes, I come from motor student, University of Gipuzkoa. Not long ago, we carried out tests with the batteries, and as you said, batteries become wider or narrower with each charge. Is it applicable not only to cars but also to motorbikes, buses, other types of transport? I mean, it's not for sale, I understand, but how far could it get? Well, this technology can be applied to the present ion lithium. It includes different chemistries. I'm not going to go into the details of the formats of the chemistry, but I like to say that it's also valid for emerging technologies as the solid state technology that require even more pressure. And the increase of the pressure in present technologies at the border of what we can use. And we are starting to see hydrostatic pressure systems, costly, of course, and this would also include the solid state range of pressure. The rest of questions during the cocktail. Thank you so much. A big round of applause for him. And we are now going to Madrid with this innovation route. We now talk about drones, ladies and gentlemen, an innovative technology for drones. H2 drone. Marcos Gonzalez is presenting it. Good evening. How many drones have you seen today? Probably none, but you should know that in Spain there are more than 90,000 drones that, although you do not see them, they are part of our daily life. They do it for industrial inspections, to control fires, as lifeguards on beaches to search for lost people, and in the future they will even deliver your Amazon packages or take us from one place to another in air cabs. Clean drones, the electric ones, have an issue. Their autonomy depends on batteries that presently don't allow them to fly for more than an hour. This means that if we are looking for a person that's lost, what will happen? Well, we need to stop the search, to recharge the drone, change the battery, etc. So in the end, it has fatal results. I am Marcos Gonzalez, Marketing Management of H2 Drone Energy. In the last 5 years, we have developed a solution capable of multiplying by 3 the flight time of drones, thanks to hydrogen technology. We join hydrogen and oxygen to generate electricity. And what's the only waste that we get? The only waste we get from that is water. So this is a disruptive technology able to boost everything, responding to the sustainable solutions demands and growing profitability, being more efficient in searching for person or developing business models such as packages delivery. Already more than 15 leading innovative companies from countries such as Spain, Italy, France and Germany have shown interest in our solution, and we have started working with 2 multinational companies, and we hope to have soon our first drones. In H2 Drone Energy, we not only want to change the present but also the future of flight mobility to make it more efficient, more interesting financially and more sustainable. And we think that the place to do it is here in Gipuzkoa, cooperating with companies and technological representatives from the sector and with MUBIL and the new site that's testing these batteries. Now that all the students are here, and we've been talking about the 2050 goal, do you also want to do it? Do you want to accompany us to reach this 2050 goal with sustainable mobility? Thank you very much. Thank you, Marcos. Questions on the hydrogen drones. One question over there. Very quickly, the microphone. How do you get the hydrogen to fly? And Is it safe to use hydrogen to fly? For the first question, very simple. You call Lindell a liquid and you get your hydrogen. That would be the simplest way right now. But if you have a company, you probably need more hydrogen or want to generate it yourself. There are machines that allow you to do it, and anyone could have them at home. You have these machines to generate hydrogen, and we are now seeing what the future will be like. MUBIL has seen it. They are going to create this site, a plant to generate the hydrogen batteries. In Madrid, in Barcelona, we have a gas station with hydrogen, and this is growing everywhere, and it will grow here too, and it will be much easier to get hydrogen. Your second question, it's super safe. For more than 100 years, we have had no issues with hydrogen. It's used in all the companies in mobility and in other sectors, and it has no issues. The hydrogen atom is smaller, which means that it dilutes, so there wouldn't be any issues. Batteries that we carry in our mobile phones are safer now, but still they are less safe than hydrogen. They can burst, they can inflate, and hydrogen is much safer than present phone batteries. So 2 questions, 2 in 1. If there's a third question, burning question, there's 1 there. Okay. And the rest for the cocktail, a burning question then. Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to ask about, I understand that your initiative is related to what presented Toyota back in time, hydrogen-boosted car. And I'd like to know what's the scalability in the future of using hydrogen as far as flight autonomy is concerned. Can it be improved or is it limited? Well, it's not exactly the same technology as Toyota, first of all. This is much smaller. But yes, just to give you an idea, when we say that it multiply times 3, you have to think that in hydrogen we have a battery that gives us power, but what gives us the autonomy is the hydrogen deposit. The bigger the deposit, like the combustion motor, the more hydrogen we have, the more gas we have, the longer we can fly. Because we are specialized in the drone sector and weight is very limiting factor. So we say that with the same weight, we can fly 3 times longer. Thank you very much, Marco. And we move on. Let's go to Turkey. So the presentation will be done in English. More and more connected cars, risk of cyber attacks. Do you know that we lose 5 billion a year in cyber attacks? Well, that's a serious, important new kids. Sitting Kosi from Turkey.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you well know, today's technology allows cars to connect anywhere. And anything is connected with the internet means that it's open to cyber attack and physical thief attempts. In the last 5 years, the cyber attacks cost $505 billion cost to car manufacturers, fleet companies, and also individuals. As Nivki, we are changing the game by our cybersecurity ecosystem with our digital key app, our AI platform, and patented IoT devices. So users of selfie and photo of the driver license and passport, and also SMS and email verification converts the mobile phone into a secure digital key. Then the user scans the QR code of the Nivki Autobox to connect the system via an encrypted communication. Also, the AI system gets the data from these 2 assets and analyzes the abnormal activities. We have 3 models of Nivki Autobox. One of them is called Fuji for car manufacturers. Second one is Etna for fleet companies. And also the third one is Everest for individuals. We sell or rent all those 3 Nivki Autoboxes to our customers, and then they activate the yearly licenses to activate the systems according to their needs. So we have 5 competitors in all over the world, but our main difference is that we have an active and real-time protection system, ecosystem of this security. And the automotive cybersecurity market is today has $3.6 billion value and expected to reach $16 to $20 billion in the next 8 years. Our aim is to be a unicorn in the next 5 years with our cybersecurity ecosystem and to touch the lives of people to protect the mobility of humanity. So for safe mobility, come and join NIVKI. Thank you.
Un applauso. Un futuro e unicornio della
Future and unicorn of cybersecurity. Any questions around here? You've seen that risks are paramount, of course, and he has an integrated system, Internet of Things, an app. Any questions for him? Otherwise, at the cocktail, I'll ask a question.
Moment. Car companies or individuals or fleets?
So according to the NIVKI Autobox is changing, but I can tell you that even if it is a combustion engine or electric car, it doesn't matter for us. So the car manufacturers are our first customers.
Is it working? I don't know if it is working. Maybe you can finish and then this needs to be arranged.
Okay. And also we have fleet companies like car sharing companies, car rental companies, insurance companies, also logistic companies are our target customers. And in the 25 of the first quarter, we are aiming to reach 2 individuals.
Thank you very much. Preguntas para Cetin en el cocktail. Vamos al siguiente. Thank you.
More questions during the cocktail. Next one, please. The one before the last. Now we go to Modena, the city of Ferrari, where I was born. I'm so excited about this. Let's talk about something that I don't know if anyone knows here in the room. And it's called a supercapacitor. Do you know what it is? Well, this supercapacitor, not only that, this is a supercapacitor that's modelable, and we're going to listen to this story from Modena, Italy. Novak is the company. Alessandro Fabri has the word.
Good evening. My name is Alessandro, and I'm from Novak. Novak comes from the heart of Modena in Italy. And today I want you to forget everything you know about energy storage and discover the revolution of shapeable supercapacitors. So to explain what supercapacitors are, we usually make this metaphor. So we say that batteries are like a marathon runner because they run for a very long distance and they release their energy in a very long time. This means having a very high energy density but a low power density. Supercapacitors are the sprinter of energy storage sector. So they release all their energy in very few seconds, and this translates into very high power density but lower energy density. So our idea is to combine batteries and supercapacitors in order to have both the autonomy, so the energy thanks to the batteries, and the power thanks to the supercapacitors. By coupling these two technologies, we can achieve several advantages. First of all, in some application, we can reduce the overall weight and volume of the system because we can downsize the batteries. Moreover, we have a more efficient system because thanks to the fast charge and discharge of supercapacitors. And last but not least, by reducing the stress on the batteries, we can increase their lifetime up to plus 50%. So what we found in the supercapacitor market is that these devices are very bulky, so you need to find the space inside the vehicle to place bulky volumes of that. And they are dangerous because in case of crashes, the liquid electrolyte that is inside can come out and take fire. In Novak, we develop a completely solid state and shapeable supercapacitors. It's solid state because we take off all the liquid inside and we substitute it with a solid state one. And this means that nothing can come out and take fire, which makes the cell much safer. And it's shapeable. Shapeable means that we can produce it in every custom 3D surface, so that you don't need to find the space inside the vehicle to place a bulky box of supercaps, but you can exploit existing components of the car, like the roof, the floor, or the rear wing of a sports car, and making them energy storage device. So welcome to the revolution of supercapacitor, and thank you very much.
Bravo Alessandro. Bravissimo, bravissimo.
Fantastic, Alessandro. So you understood. It's incredible. A tool that's added to the traditional battery that gives that sprint of a Ferrari. And it's moldable, it's adaptable, it's a thin layer that can stick to the roof, to the floor, etc. So questions?
For Alessandro. Nobody has a question for Alessandro? Yes, there is a question for Alessandro. Where? Where? There.
Ciao Alessandro, I want to ask you a question about how can be the balance of batteries and supercapacitors in a car. Have you found that moment of balance between both of them for reaching that peak performance?
Well, it depends on the application, on the use case that you want to achieve in the car. I mean, we are working in different use cases. Some smallest pack for like smallest use cases, like for example, the power steering of a car or of a sports car. So when the batteries goes off, you have a small system of supercapacitor to drive them in a safe position. And this requires a small pack compared to the battery one. While in other cases, when we integrate, we hybridize the powertrain, so we have supercaps to provide power during acceleration. In that case, the pack is much bigger, but still, in talking about weight and volume, it's still much lower than the volume of the battery pack. So it depends.
¿Hemos contestado? ¿Una más?
Did we answer one more question? Is there one more question for Alessandro from Modena Sports? Racing cars are manufactured there. Yes, a running microphone.
How does it compare in terms of power density with respect to other supercapacitors?
So our technology, we developed the components inside in order to improve the power density, but we don't have a breakthrough with respect to the state of the art. So our idea is not to increase the power performance of state-of-the-art, but to focus on the shapeability feature. So we translate the power density in kilowatts per kilogram to kilowatts per square meter. So we can achieve almost 30 kilowatts per square meter in a component. And but yeah, if you compare it to the kilograms, it's like 10% higher than the state-of-the-art, but it's not a breakthrough technology in that sense.
Grazie Alessandro. Rest of the question at the cocktail. Bravo. Ultimo.
And the last one of the evening. I'm sure you now know more or less, or you have your opinion of who's going to win. Now going to France. And again, we need to charge our batteries, but how can we do that if we don't find any stations? Well, this company is called Voltage, with several A's, Voltage, and it's presented by Eduardo Carnevalis.
Hola. Vehicle charging easy for drivers like you and me, and for charging point operators, which are those companies that install, operate, sometimes own the charging points. So electric cars are a great solution to decarbonize transportation, but they need a good charging infrastructure to work well. And there we have a problem, because today 70% of the charging points that you see out there are losing money. Yes, because they are not used enough. The main reason is wrong location. Yeah, they are being installed in places where people don't need them to charge the car. This is bad because when you spend 100,000 euro to 1 million to install a big infrastructure and it's not used, well, it's a pity. But at Voltage, we found a solution. With our technology and software, we tell charging point operators where to install the future charging station, where people actually need them. And on existing charging points, we tell them how to change the price, increase or decrease, to attract more customers, to balance the supply and demand of the network, and at the end, for sure, making more profit. The secret sauce is data. Yes, again, data. When we enter a territory like the Basque Country, we start to collect data from existing charging stations, electrical vehicles running around, from traffic data, anographic, demographic data from the power grid. We clean it, we analyze it with our machine learning models to give recommendations to the charging point operators. This is not science fiction, it's not magic. Today, among our clients, we have the government of France. We help them guide the deployment of 300 charging points and the operation of 4,000 charging points in 2 regions. One is the region of Paris, called Île-de-France. The other one is Normandy. Those are rich regions with 15 million inhabitants to start. After France, we don't want to keep this technology only for French people. We are ready to deploy in North Italy and in Spain. We really hope that MUBIL can be a partner to co-develop and improve our technology. So thank you, and I'll try to answer to the question in Spanish, and let's see if I can manage.
¿Vas a hablar en español? Venga,
voy a intentar.
Va a hablar en español.
Sí.
Italiano.
I'm going to try in Spanish, yes. Questions for Eduardo on how to place the charging stations. But easy questions, please. Questions for Eduardo? 1, 2. No questions from the audience? Oh, there's one there. Thank you. Thanks to the engineers. Intellectual leadership on their side.
Okay, I'm going for English. Do you think it's more important to have the points in where you have to put the chargers, or do you think it's more important to maintain these points, which is not doing in the actual countries? It is not doing actually. What do you think is more important?
Can you rephrase it again so I can understand?
Yeah, sorry. Do you think it's more important to know how to locate the chargers or maintain those chargers?
Ok. Io penso che è importante.
I think that as an investor, it's important to build the charging stations at the right place first. But of course, you can optimize the revenues very well with the smart pricing. So it's difficult to pick one of the 2 possibilities. I think we can do both at the same time. Any other questions? One more question here for Eduardo. One microphone that runs and across the whole room. Congratulations for the idea. It's a very good idea. It's difficult here in Spain to know the power available. Quite often, the best traffic location does not allow us to have the necessary electric power. And sometimes the access is not easy because it's not a service area, it's not a gas station or whatever. This is something you take into account in your model, to know what power is available already there at those points. That's an excellent question. The answer is yes, we do. We take into account the available power in some places of the territory. And we don't always find at first the exact detail of each square meter. That's true. But this is open data that's available. And when we don't have open data, we work with the energy distribution company now in Spain, and also with geographic data to know where there's a space to be and parking to build at the next station. Thank you very much. A big round of applause for Eduardo. Thank you. Great work. Anyway, we've seen the 6 projects. Who do you think will be first, second? And before we have I get the envelopes, this magical moment, I have a question for one expert on battery mobility. Noshin Omar, please join me for 2 questions.
Bravo. Noshin, let's speak about problems, because there are problems. It's not only opportunity. Challenges of the supply chain of the batteries in Europe. Which are the problems that we are facing? Problems.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, Antonella. Indeed, Europe has a lot of gigafactories, but we are facing big problems these days due to some technological mistakes that we made. It is what it is. We have to be honest in that. So there is some big problems in the supply chain. However, problems create also opportunities. It doesn't mean that we made the problems, that we cannot get it right. If we look to the worldwide market of the batteries, it's far from clean, sustainable, and green. And if we want to move to zero emissions, as Antonella has mentioned multiple times this evening, we have to look to the entire supply chain. I know everyone is saying, oh my God, we have China, cheap technologies and so on. No, that's not true. It's not cheap, it's over-subsidized. And on top, the CO2 footprint in China is not so good as we believe all. Actually, the CO2 footprint in China is double so high as we have it in Europe. However, we want to compete based on not the same argument. So there is a lot of opportunities in Europe to get to win the race in the battery industry, but based on very key elements: sustainable supply chain, human supply chain, and zero carbon supply chain. Just will give you an example. If you take this one, where we have a lot of cobalt in our cell phones, the majority of cobalt, those are coming from Congo Republic, because 65% of the supply chain is coming from there. However, the ones which are getting the mines, the cobalt from the mines for us, they are done by kids below 12 years. 50,000 kids, day in, day out, are working on those mines to get such type of cobalt for us. Is that what we are looking for? Definitely not. So we have to differentiate our supply chain from humanity, sustainability, and to be clean, and not just based competition on the pricing, which doesn't make sense.
Thank you very much
My
for
pleasure.
these implications that are related with, thank you, with human rights, related with the business we are in. It's not only carbon zero, it's also defense of human rights. Thank you very much. Un applauso. Vamos a premiar.
We are about to grant the awards, but I want to summarize the trends of the previous years. It's very interesting. We've made a tour of innovations, and we see where some trends come from. We are losing some trends. We are encouraging others. Can you show me the winners of the previous years? It's extremely interesting. We started with recycling. It was recycling dust of magnets for electric cars. And we are going to recycle magnets, and it's Ketnix who does it. We create our own dust from waste magnets, and the production of this dust is being consolidated here in Gipuzkoa. What's an ultra-fast charger for electric vehicles, which seemed like science fiction back then, but has reached agreements here in the Basque Country. Green Hill They tried to have green transformers, the ones that we see in concerts that were highly pollutant, and they wanted green generators for transport companies and for festivals, etc. And it's being a big success. And the second prize was the software as a service to optimize these paths of public transport in rural areas in that case. Last year, Smobbery was the first prize. It was a closet for fleets where you give the uncharged battery and you get out a charged battery. It's a cabinet. And they signed an agreement with a company from the Basque Country. I don't know if our colleagues from Batera are here. Yes, Batera. It means collaboration. Is there something more mobile than this concept? A big round of applause for Batera. Congratulations on this cooperation with Smobbery. And the second prize was granted to Platform, Hoop Carpool. Carpooling with different companies of a same industrial area. And now we are going to see what the awards will be like this year. We'll see the results. I'd like to have the two envelopes. Dear Amaya Fernandez, can I have them, please? Thank you. Amaya from BIC, a crucial partner that helps us so much. What do you do for us during the awards? Yes, like Anne was saying, when she started to work in MUBIL, we started to think about those awards, and since then we cooperate with the team of MUBIL in the organization. We're part of the technical committee where we select the finalists, and we contribute with our know-how to assess technologic projects. We try to identify the projects that have a potential and that we can connect with the hub, like Anne said, so that they are part of our ecosystem. And you have a very privileged vision of the drone, the evolution of the ecosystem of the sustainable mobility. Where is the ecosystem walking to? Well, the transformation that undergoes the mobility system has an impact in our economy, in our society, due to the high weight of the automotive sector in the Basque Country. We must adapt. Our companies must adapt to keep being competitive. And this adaptation helps them to move on in things such as connectivity, autonomous driving, sustainability, electrification. We have a very dynamic sector that can innovate. And this innovation is leading to the creation of new companies. We have an example here of a startup coming from a technologic center. New startups are being created. Our technologies are diversifying, and the companies grow here, creating quality jobs that will attract talent and reach the horizon Anna told us about. Of course, thank you very much, Amaya. We're going to open the envelopes. I call to the stage the person who's going to help me present the awards. This is the first award of the Basque Government, Vice Chancellor of Digital Transformation and Technology, Jaione Galtaray. This second award goes to Van Belt. Javier. Technology in a belt that controls battery pressure. Congratulations. Photographs, yes. All photos are done. Congratulations to you. And the first award, Aide Mendoza, General Councillor of the Guipúzcoa Regional Council. A big round of applause for Mrs. Eider Mendoza. Thank you very much, Antonella. Novak, Modena. electric cars and Ferrari. Bravo. The supercapacitors. Adaptable, thin supercapacitors that will transform your car into a Ferrari that can be stick to the floor, to the roof, wherever. Bravo. Please, the two winners, can you join me here, Javier and Alessandro?
Venga, venga, un poco de tal, ahora que tenéis el premiazo en la mano.
Now that you've won.
For you, bueno, first of all, congratulations, you're top. Everybody was top, really. Un applauso para los finalistas.
A big round of applause for all the finalists.
Both of you. ¿Con qué compañías? No quiero el nombre apellido.
With which company? What type of company? Not the name, but what kind of companies do you think you will collaborate? Any OEM? Only battery integrator? But I'm going to tell you names, if you allow me. Yes, give us names. We'd love to work with CAF, with Fagor Ederland, Mercedes, Batera, Ederbat. There's a whole list. Yes, we have plenty of opportunities in the Basque country. Don't forget the energy storage, and in the long term with Basquebut as well.
Exactly. If you think of a company, or a typology of company in the mobile ecosystem, which kind of company you would like to collaborate with?
So currently, we are looking for production support, and we already have contact with CDTech, and we believe that it would be a very good hub for expanding our production and to develop also our product, and also the facility that we saw at MUBIL for the testing would be very important for us.
You like the labs, eh?
Yeah,
I know.
And next, we are open to know new companies in this area.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much. We are ready to finish. Gracias. Podéis volver a votar.
Thank you very much. And Ada, Mrs. Mendoza, a few closing words for this event. Thank you very much. Antonella, you have a huge sense of humor, so I'll make a joke with you, saying that the future belongs to the engineers and that intellectual leadership is in the hands of engineers. Well, thanks for allowing us to live, politicians. But I'm going to give you an example, which is collaboration, and we will go into the future hand in hand. Engineers, politicians, philosophers, everyone, all kinds of persons, because Anne was telling us what 2050 would be like and how we want to tackle it. And Antonella told us that she wanted to be present at in that decarbonized future. But that's not our only contribution to be there. We want to contribute. Each person here wants to contribute to reach that goal of being decarbonized in 2050. We're going hand in hand with economy and, of course, respecting human rights. And because that's our goal, we want to contribute. We want to help. We have life projects with a sense, with a goal. Here at the Regional Council, even if I'm not an engineer, and the previous General Councillor was not either, we decided that we wanted to ask ourselves a couple of questions, and we shared them. And the questions were, how do we want to contribute? How do we want to help decarbonize our territory, our country? And second question, having a place, like Amaya said, where the car industry weight is so important in our economy. How can we help all that sector of the economy to be well situated, well placed to face the challenges of the future? And we answered those questions in a shared way, batera, which means together in Basque. And thanks to that, we created the MUBIL poll. And I have to say that the initial idea that was very good, but we've already gone beyond it. We've gone beyond all expectations, and all our hopes are in this MUBIL hub. Many people participate in it, and I want to mention the commitment and the work of the whole team of MUBIL, and the commitment of everyone that works there, all the collaborators, all the life projects of these people make sense because they want to contribute to our network. Why and how are created those awards we grant today? Well, the thing is that with what's happening all around the world, all the projects in the world can contribute. We have contributions from Turkey, from many other countries, and we want to include them in our ecosystem. The goal is not just to think of 2050, but to know that in 2050 the result will be thanks to our contributions. As a General Councillor, I just want to thank you wholeheartedly, because thanks to everyone's commitment, I'm sure we will reach that future goal, a beautiful future, decarbonized future. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone who has contributed, and congratulations to all the finalists. Thank you.
Cero, un futuro cero.
Zero carbon in the future. Zero in all senses, in justice, equality. I love it. I want to be there. 2025 edition is around the corner. If you have suggestions, proposals, leave your name and surname at this website that you can see, mubilawards.com, because we will send a message once the call is open. Since tomorrow, we start with the 2025 edition. We say hi to everyone who was listening to us, watching us on streaming from home. Thank you so much. I'd like to say that now we have a cocktail and a zero carbon print is not easy in a cocktail, but we will do our best to reach that goal. Everything will be reusable in our cocktail. Most of the materials, at least, come from reusing processes, local services, local products, zero carbon print, something that we must still learn about, but we are working on it. We have a survey, small change here. This year's candidate had the opportunity to explain better what they do, and the debate was interesting. Regardless of whether we grant you the award or not, we want to grant you the experience of a route, of walking the path in European innovation in this field. Anyway, you can tell us in the survey what was interesting, what was good, if you think there are things we can change to improve things. And see you next year. Thank you very much.
Gracias. Gracias.